Hold up, did you see that? Because the internet just exploded. And no, it's not because of another celebrity breakup or a tired reality show reunion this time. It's real. Real messy. Real scandalous. And real exposed. Ahmadi just dropped. The nuclear bomb of the decade, and guess who's at the center of this chaos? None other than Chrissy Lampkin and Camron. Yes, that Camron. Its finest turned shady mastermind Dan Honey. The receipts are steaming hot, so let's break it down. Imagine thinking your relationship drama is just your business. And suddenly Boo Mama D comes crashing through the front door like the FBI with a hard drive. A wine glass and absolutely no chill. She didn't just spill the tea, she poured the entire pot, shattered the cup, and set fire to the table. What's in this leaked video? Why is Camron lurking in places he shouldn't be? And how did Chrissy end up at the center of a betrayal so wild? Even Zeus is side-eyeing Mount Olympus. Something stinks in Harlem and it ain't the fish fry. This isn't gossip. This is a gospel of destruction. Buckle up, because what you thought was reality TV, that was just the trailer. Asterisk, so now that the cat is not just out of the bag but sprinting down the street, dragging all of Harlem's secrets behind it. Let's get into the mess that's got the internet clutching its pearls. Because trust me, when I say this isn't just another love and hip-hop dust-up. This is betrayal, manipulation, and scandal rolled into one flaming hot casserole of chaos. It all started with a video. But not just any video. A leaked video. That kind that doesn't just go viral, it detonates. And when Mama D, of all people, decides to blow the whistle, you know it's real. She's not just a reality TV icon, she's a chaos connoisseur. And this time, she brought footage that allegedly shows Chrissy Lampkin and Camron in a situation that, let's just say, doesn't scream loyalty to Jim Jones. In fact, if you believe what's circulating, it screams the exact opposite. And baby, when I say the, timeline exploded, comments were flying, reposts were non-stop, and Jim, he was trending, but not for dropping a mixtape. The real question here is, how did we even get to this point? Wasn't Chrissy the Radad? Wasn't Camron the bro for life? Wasn't Jim Jones just trying to keep his circle tight and his empire tighter? Apparently not. Let's rewind a little, 'cause this wasn't random. Oh no, this drama has roots. It goes years back to when Chrissy first stepped onto the scene looking like she was ready to fight the whole industry for her man. And Jim, he seemed all in. They were the couple that gave us arguments, makeups, and proposals that had social media on edge every season. But beneath that surface was a storm brewing one. It's now burst wide open thanks to a woman who's never needed permission to speak. Her mind. Mama D, according to her, she claims she has the receipts. This wasn't some innocent hangout caught at the wrong angle. No, she says Camron and Chrissy had been moving funny. That this secret meet was the result of years of shady back and forth. And that Jim had been the only one blind to what was really going on around him. If this sounds like some kind of scripted plot twist, oh baby, it wishes it was fiction. Because what Mama D unleashed wasn't just a video. It was an unraveling. She claims Chrissy wasn't just being messy, she was playing a double game. Publicly defending Jim, showing up at events like the perfect partner. All while allegedly sneaking around with the one person who was supposed to be family, and Camron. Oh, he played his part well. Loyal friend by day, but according to some sources, puppet master by night. Mama D says this wasn't a moment of weakness, it was a pattern. A pattern of control, of manipulation, and of staying close to Jim just long enough to twist the knife without him ever seeing it coming. And let's not forget Camron and Jim weren't just friends. They were practically brothers, Dipset. That wasn't a group. It was a blood oath. They built a movement together. It's the idea that Cam would even entertain anything shady with Chrissy. It's the kind of betrayal that doesn't just break trust, it shatters it into 1,000 pieces. And yet, here we are. with a leaked video that supposedly shows just enough to raise eyebrows, break hearts, and send the blogs into overdrive. Now, let's talk about that footage. While the exact content hasn't been confirmed because, let's be real, legal teams are moving like hawks right now, what's being whispered in the industry is wild. The setting, allegedly a hotel suite in Miami. The time, around the same weekend, Chrissy claimed she was visiting family. The problem, Camron was in Miami too. And allegedly someone close to Mama D, got a recording. Not just of Chrissy entering the suite, but of her staying way longer than a quick hello would require. And when the footage hit the internet, it spread faster than a scandal at Sunday brunch. Twitter detectives started matching outfits, timestamps, background furniture. You know how they do. And soon enough, the comments weren't asking if it was Chrissy. They were saying it's definitely her. The moment that clip dropped, Chrissy's name hit the top of trending lists, but not in a way you want to be trending. Jim Jones's fans flooded his page with "You deserve better" messages, while Camron's comment section turned into a battlefield of confusion and disgust. The streets weren't silent. They were screaming. And the worst part? Neither Chrissy nor Camron issued any kind of denial right away. Just silence. Radio silence. Which, in the internet age, might as well be a confession. Meanwhile, Mama D wasn't backing down. In fact, she went live. Yes, live, sipping wine, smirking, and saying things like, "See? When you play dirty, don't be mad when someone airs your laundry. And baby, I aired everything." She wasn't pulling punches. She said she sat on this clip for months, waiting for the right moment. And when she saw Chrissy throwing shade online, implying people needed to worry about their own men, that was it. That was the moment she said, "Let me show you who should have been worried." And just like that, the video went out like a missile. But here's where it gets even messier, because sources close to Jim are now saying this wasn't the first time he had doubts. Allegedly, there were rumors as far back as 2017 that Chrissy and Cam had chemistry. That during one of Dipset's early reunions, things felt off. A little too flirty, a little too familiar. But Jim brushed it off, because that's what loyalty doesn't blind you to red flags. And Cam, he's always been smooth with it. He knows how to play both sides. Industry vet, street legend, and now, according to Mama D, snake in the grass. She says this was never about love. It was about control. That Cam used his position in Jim's life to keep both him and Chrissy in check. And when Jim started making moves without consulting, Cam, when he started talking about marriage, independence, and stepping away from Dipset, that's when things shifted. Because Camron doesn't like losing influence, especially not to a woman, especially not Chrissy. And if you believe what Mama D is saying, this whole mess, it was the long game. Cam keeping Chrissy close to sabotage Jim from within. Now, we don't know what's real, what's planted, or what's just messy hearsay. But what we do know is this: someone had motive, someone had access, and someone hit record on a moment that's now threatening to destroy friendships, reputations, and what little was left of Jim and Chrissy's public image. And if you think this is where the story ends, oh baby, we're just getting started. Because baby, when it comes to the world of hip-hop loyalty, we mean nothing hits harder than betrayal from the inside. And what Mama D just pulled off, that's not a plot twist. That's a character assassination wrapped in a velvet glove. Let's talk fallout, because after that video hit the streets, everybody started talking. Not just fans, not just bloggers, but industry insiders. People who've been quiet for years suddenly found their voice sliding into DMs, leaking DMs, and whispering louder than a barbershop on a Saturday morning. One anonymous source who claims to have toured with Jim and Cam back in the early 2000s says the tension between Chrissy and Cam wasn't new. We used to joke. He said, like, "Yo, you sure you cool with how Chrissy be looking at Cam?" But back then, it was just that, a joke. Nothing concrete. But now, that same source is claiming they once saw Chrissy and Cam talking behind closed doors for hours during a Dipset studio session. Was it innocent? Was it business? Or was it something else entirely? Because apparently, they came out looking guilty as hell. That's not all. Another insider, this time a stylist who's worked with both Chrissy and Camron, claims Chrissy once made a comment about real men not needing chains to prove their worth. And guess what? Cam was in earshot and reportedly smirked, like he knew she was talking about him. Coincidence? Maybe, but in hindsight, it's giving foreshadowing. And while the internet tried to play Detective Jim Jones, he went dark. No tweets, no Instagram stories, no cryptic quotes, just complete silence. Which, let's be honest, speaks volumes. Because Jim ain't never been one to shy away from defending himself for Chrissy. So for him to go radio silent while the internet drags his name through the mud, yeah, that says a lot. Meanwhile, Mama D was living her best life. She doubled down on her claims, appearing on multiple live streams, teasing more files, and even posting a blurred screenshot with the caption, "You ain't seen nothing yet." She's treating this like a Netflix docuseries, and baby, the ratings are sky high. But the real tea is in the public reaction. Fans are divided. Half the internet is Team Chrissy, claiming she was set up, manipulated, maybe even drugged. The other half, they're Team Mama D, saying if she leaked it, she had her reasons, and, let's be honest, Chrissy's always been a little too fiery for her own good. But one thing everyone agrees on, Camron is looking real suspicious right now. And it's not just the leaked footage. People are bringing up everything: old interviews, lyrics, shady comments, even a 2009 clip where Cam laughs when asked about Chrissy, then says she cool. For now. For now? Oh, really, sir? Because now it's 2025 and everything just blew up. Even former Love and Hip Hop castmates are weighing in. One ex-producer who spoke anonymously said, "The dynamic between Cam and Chrissy always felt ... off. Like playful tension, but too personal. We avoided filming them together too long. It felt like it'd get messy." Messy doesn't even begin to describe this. And then there's the money trail. Because here's where things get spicy. Word on the street is that Camron allegedly funded a small business project for Chrissy back in the day, something she never told Jim about. And now people are asking why. Why would Cam help fund anything for his best friend's girl unless he was trying to secure more than just a return on investment? The receipts show a $22,000 wire transfer from a K. Giles to a boutique company Chrissy was launching around 2019. The explanation: consulting services. But guess what? There's no record of those services. Not in tax documents, not in permits, nowhere. And when that news hit the blogs, it was like throwing gasoline on an open flame. The theory started flying: was Cam investing in Chrissy's business or investing in Chrissy herself? And if so, how long had this arrangement been going on? Were there more payments? Was Chrissy financially entangled with the same man who allegedly just got caught with her on camera in a compromising position? If that doesn't scream conspiracy, I don't know what does. Meanwhile, people started digging into Jim's social circle, wondering just how long he's been surrounded by folks who don't actually have his back. Because let's be honest, when your girl and your day one homie start moving funny and nobody tells you, that's not just betrayal, that's sabotage. And Jim, he's either the most loyal man alive or the most oblivious. But some say he knew that deep down, Jim always suspected something. That's why he never married Chrissy. That's why there was always tension when Cam was around. And that's why he once said in an interview, "Some people in your circle will celebrate your downfall with a smile." At the time, no one paid attention. Now, everyone's reposting that quote like it was prophecy. But even more shocking is what's allegedly coming next. Sources close to Mama D are hinting there's another video. one even more incriminating. And this one? It supposedly got audio. Audio that allegedly confirms Cam and Chrissy were plotting something, maybe not just sneaking around, but actively working to keep Jim in the dark. The phrase leverage against him keeps popping up. What kind of leverage? Legal, financial, emotional? Nobody knows yet, but if that audio exists, this story is about to go from scandalous to criminal. And let's not forget the fans who are deep diving into Camron's music catalog like it's a forensic archive. They're pointing out lyrics that suddenly seem a little too personal, verses about stealing someone's girl, about loyalty being fake, about playing the long game. Lyrics we thought were bars might have been confessions. One fan tweeted, "Cam really been rapping in code and we thought it was art. This man been telling on himself since 2013. Another said Chrissy wasn't a side piece, she was a chess move. Oof. And as the internet erupts, people are demanding accountability. They want Cam to speak. They want Chrissy to explain. And they want Jim to open his eyes and stop defending people who wouldn't defend him if the roles were reversed. And yet, the silence continues. No apology posts, no PR statements, no red table talks. Just the sound of an empire crumbling under. The weight of betrayal. And guess what? While they stay silent, Mama D just teased a sit-down interview. Yes, an interview. Scheduled to drop next week, titled The Truth Behind the Tape. You already know that thing's going to break the internet. She's promising timestamps, breakdowns, and yes, bonus content. And the craziest part? Rumors are swirling that Chrissy knew it was being recorded. That this wasn't some secret spy cam moment. That she knew and just never thought it would surface. Which means this might not just be a betrayal of Jim, it might be a power move gone wrong. But what kind of power was she really chasing? And was Cam the one pulling the strings? Or was Chrissy the mastermind the whole time? The deeper we go, the murkier it gets. What started as a shady leak is now unraveling into a years-long conspiracy with money, manipulation, and maybe even blackmail baked in. And we're still not done. And we're still not done. Because just when you think the house of cards can't fall any further, somebody flips the table. Right as Mama D was teasing that bonus content, another anonymous source, this time claiming to be a security contractor who worked private events for Dipset, came forward with receipts. Actual time-stamped photos showing Chrissy and Cam allegedly entering a boutique Harlem penthouse together, loan on multiple occasions in the last year. These weren't grainy TMZ shots from across the street. Nah, these were indoor surveillance angles. And while no one has confirmed who owned the property, local records show the unit was leased under a shell company connected to a certain Giles Holdings. Sound familiar? It should, because that's Camron's government name. So you mean to tell us the same man who's been smiling in photos next to Jim Jones, performing with him on stage, and preaching brotherhood in interviews was possibly sneaking around behind his back with his longtime fiancée in a condo he owns? That's not just messy, that's betrayal on a cinematic level. And it's starting to look a lot less like accidental scandal and a whole lot more like premeditated sabotage. And Chrissy, sis, still hasn't said a word. No statement. No denial. No attempt to even spin it. She's just been spotted out and about in oversized sunglasses and designer bags, like nothing's happening. But insiders are saying that behind the scenes, she's been melting down. One source close to her team says Chrissy is devastated and didn't think it would ever get out. Another insider dropped a voice note allegedly from Chrissy's assistant claiming she warned her months ago, "You need to stop playing with fire. Cam's got cameras everywhere." Oh really? So she knew and still rolled the dice. That's not bold, that's reckless. And let's not forget the ripple effect. Because this isn't just blowing up Chrissy's personal life, it's allegedly impacting Jim Jones's business empire. Brands are pulling back, endorsements are going quiet. And one fashion label Jim collaborated with reportedly paused production on a new line pending internal imagery assessment. Translation: they don't want smoke. And who can blame them? You think a company wants to be associated with a love triangle featuring leaked hotel footage? Penthouse surveillance and a woman caught between Harlem's rap royalty? Absolutely not. And Jim? He finally broke his silence, but not in the way fans hoped. He dropped a cryptic Instagram story. A blurry video of him riding through New York with the caption, "When they show you who they are, ... believe them." No names, no specifics. But come on, who else could it be about? Within minutes, fans flooded his comments with fire emojis and free Jim hashtags. People are treating this like an emotional hostage situation. But the most shocking moment came when Mama DS again went live and said the quiet part out loud. Y'all think Chrissy the victim? Baby, she wanted the tape out, just not like this. Wait, what? Is she implying this was an inside job gone rogue? That Chrissy was trying to leverage the footage for something? Blackmail. A business play. Revenge on Jim for something he did. Because if that's true, we've just stepped out of reality TV territory and into full-blown psychological thriller. And speaking of Jim, sources are now claiming he's been in talks with legal teams, not just for damage control, but for civil action. Yep, word is, Jim's considering lawsuits. One against the outlet that leaked the footage, another possibly against Camron for personal damages, and a third against whoever was responsible for the recording. Some say he's even exploring breach of trust claims. Since Cam was allegedly around when some of Jim's personal business ventures were being negotiated, meaning Cam might have had access to confidential info. If true, this isn't just a friendship, betrayal. This could be financial warfare. And let's not forget the music angle. 'Cause Dipset was on the verge of a reunion tour. Millions on the line. Contracts signed. Promo done. And now that's all up in flames. One promoter even went public saying that Chrissy scandal tanked ticket sales in certain cities. Fans are calling it the messiest breakup tour of the decade. Some are demanding refunds. Others are buying more tickets just to see if Cam and Jim will confront each other on stage. Either way, this tour isn't about music anymore. It's about tension, tea, and the threat of a mic drop of a very different kind. But here's where it gets really wild. A former Love and Hip Hop producer just dropped a bombshell, apparently. Back in 2017, there was almost a spin-off focused on Chrissy and Cam. Alone, not Jim, just them. The idea was scrapped last minute because it was too risky and too real. Translation? There was already something weird going on. And now fans are scrambling to find lost footage, unused clips, and anything that might prove that these two have been playing the long game. And let's talk psychology for a second. Because people are now analyzing every Chrissy interview, every Cam verse, every joint appearance, looking for red flags. And boy, are they finding them. The lingering eye contact, the sideways smiles. That time, Chrissy said, there's loyalty and then there's obligation. While Cam sat right next to her, grinning like he knew exactly what she meant. We missed it back then, but now it's all starting to make sense. Or worse, it always made sense, and we just didn't want to believe it. But whether they were secretly planning something or just emotionally entangled, one thing is clear. This wasn't just a fling. This was a calculated, years-long situation built on manipulation, timing, and trust nobody deserved. And now that the truth is out, fans aren't letting it go. Reddit threads, TikTok timelines, IG Reels, it's everywhere. The consensus. Chrissy and Cam didn't just betray Jim. They gaslit an entire audience for years. And Mama D. She's the unfiltered, unbothered whistleblower we didn't know we needed. As for Camron, well, his silence is deafening. The man who built a career on boldness and brash lyrics hasn't said a word. No denial, no tweet, not even a petty diss track. which for Cam, that's unheard of. Some say he's laying low. Others think his team's scrambling to clean up the mess. But one fan summed it up perfectly. If Cam was innocent, he'd be talking. The silence is a confession. And Chrissy, no more appearances, no more promos. She's gone full ghost. Sources say she's staying with family, taking time away from the spotlight. But with the streets still buzzing, that spotlight's not going anywhere. Not until the real truth comes out. And honestly, it might already be too late. The damage is done. The friendships are fractured, and the empire, it's cracked. So what happens now? Will Jim finally walk away from everyone and rebuild on his own? Will Cam ever face the Musicorps? Will he keep hiding behind velvet tracksuits and vintage cars? And Chrissy, will she ever speak her piece? Or will silence be the only defense she's got left? One thing's for sure. Then, world is watching, the receipts are rolling in, and the drama is far from over. Far from over. Like a villain in a Netflix thriller, Chrissy caught up in secrets and penthouse plots. And Jim Jones left holding the bag while the empire around him burns to ash. This isn't just drama. This is Shakespeare with Instagram filters and a Dipset soundtrack. But now it's your turn. What do you believe? Was Chrissy really blindsided, Dor? Was she the mastermind behind the madness? Is Camron just guilty of bad timing? Or has he been running a long con on Harlem's royal couple this whole time? And Jim, is he finally going to cut ties and rise from the ashes, or will loyalty once again drag him down? Drop your theories in the comments, because this is the conversation the streets are having. And don't just watch the drama, be part of it. If this story shook you to your core, or had you side-eyeing your group chat, go ahead and hit that like button. Smash subscribe if you're ready for more truth bombs, twisted tales, and savage exposes. And turn on that notification bell, because the next leak, the next twist, the next betrayal, you already know will be the first to break it down. Remember, in the world of celebrity secrets, nothing stays buried forever. This saga is far from over. And baby, the next chapter might just blow everything up, so stay tuned. Stay loud and stay messy, because this is just the beginning.